All workers entering or leaving underground will be required to brass in and brass out. This may be done in several different ways, such as taking or leaving tags, or the placement of tags on the board. This is a critical step that workers need to take to ensure that all persons working underground are accounted for. In the event of an emergency or evacuation order, this system will be used to account for the physical number of individuals working underground. Failure to diligently use this system may result in someone not being accounted for in the event of an emergency, or sending rescue personnel into an area where people are thought to be as they did not brass out.
After you get your tunnel training and all that stuff, they issue you brass with a number, social security number, your name, something that identifies you. One brass will always stay with you. Some people, like myself, I stick it in the band of my hard hat. Some people tie it to their shoes. Some people put it in their pocket. The second brass goes on a brass board with an in and out. And depending, like some tunnels have two tunnels going on. One will be northbound and southbound. Depending on which tunnel you're going into, you'll take that brass it in. If something was to happen and nobody could account for you in case of an emergency and your name's still on that brass board, they know to look for you underground. On a normal, regular, everyday scenario, you brass in, go in the tunnel, do your work. You come out, you brass out, you put it out. Everybody knows it's a way of monitoring who's in the tunnel and who's not in the tunnel.
Signing in and out should only be used for visitors on the site. It will be the responsibility of job site management to ensure that both the sign-in logs and brass boards are maintained and reviewed in the event of an emergency. These systems of employee and visitor accountability will only be effective if they are carefully used and monitored. Shaft access. The shaft is the main access to the underground area. There are several different types of access that may be used to gain entrance to the tunnel. Employee access may vary from site to site, but generally includes stair tower, scaffolding, caged ladders, elevators, or man baskets. Stair tower scaffolding that is used for access into the tunnel shall be inspected daily by a competent person to ensure that there are no loose or missing pieces or damage due to impact by materials or equipment. All users of this type of access shall have scaffold user training before using this means of access. Caged ladders shall be equipped with rest platforms and fall arrest devices as required. All workers using this type of access shall have appropriate fall protection training and shall not carry tools or equipment with them. Tools shall have a separate system of transport. 3 points of contact on the ladder at all times, and 1 person per ladder section at a time. Elevators may or may not have an operator provided for use. Elevators are generally called up or down by a bell system to alert both the top and bottom of the shaft. Special care needs to be used when moving the elevator to ensure that it is not overloaded and to ensure that no loads are being flown in by crane into the shaft. If an elevator is operated by dedicated personnel, then they will handle the up and down operation. Some elevators will not have a dedicated operator. In this case, all personnel operating the elevator system shall receive training prior to operating it for the first time. In addition, in the event of an emergency, man baskets and Stokes baskets may be used to retrieve injured workers out of the tunnel. Man baskets may be your primary means of access into and out of the shaft, depending on your project. They may also be used for the purpose of employee rescue. In the event of an injury that requires use of the basket, the injured employee will be brought to the bottom of the shaft and placed in the man basket for transport to the surface. Practice drills using the man basket shall be done for personnel dedicated to the rescue team. A practice drill includes the operation of loading the basket with weighted objects to simulate a person being transported. The load shall be secured and lifted to the top of the shaft. This drill may need to be periodically practiced throughout the duration of construction.